This is a true story, so you know someone's getting kidnapped. One day, Alexis comes home saying she thought she knew she was, but now she has no idea. 16 years ago, a woman named Gloria was pregnant. Everyone was excited, especially her boyfriend Charles. But Gloria had a miscarriage. She kept it a secret and continued working at a veteran clinic, pretending she was still with child. But the mounting pressure has finally caught up with her.
When's my baby gonna come, huh?
Damn, Gloria not pregnant, but she still got massive cake. One day, Gloria drives to Jacksonville Hospital, visits the nursery, and then the maternity ward, where she sees Shannara and her newborn baby, Kamiyah. Gloria tends to Shannara and immediately gains her trust. A little later, she asks to take the child to the nursery. Even the baby's grandmother can't stop Gloria from leaving. When Shannara checks in with the staff, she finds out that Kamiyah is not where she's supposed to be. Shannara's partner, Craig, is in prison, and he's devastated when he finds out the baby was taken. By the time the kidnapping is broadcasted and the hospital is put on lockdown, Gloria is already on her way home. Her family are overjoyed when they finally meet the baby, whom Gloria names Alexis. She says that she went into labor while at work, and because it's 80 miles away from home, she didn't bother calling anyone. 18 months later, and the police are still looking for Kamiyah.
I just want my baby back.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs.
Gloria pities Shannara, but she's already in love with the baby. She loves Alexis so much that when she realizes Charles doesn't care about the baby, she breaks up with him. Because Gloria has lost her boys in a custody battle, she gives her full attention to her only girl. Now how'll she lose custody over her sons? Gloria has a good image at home, and even her church recognizes her hard work and contribution. One day, a choir singer, Alexis, catches her attention. He's doing a cover of Oh Happy Day, but it ain't good. Next cover should be Cover Your Mouth. Alexis also has a daughter named Erika. Alexis is long divorced, and Gloria is single. The spark is evident, and because they can't make cream cheese with the church watching, they get married. Alexis is quite jealous now that she has to share her mom, and like all families, fights are inevitable. Alexis thinks that Gloria is spoiling Alexis so much that the young girl doesn't even have a part-time job. Gloria gives her everything she wants and needs. Alexis continues to compare Alexis to Erika, who works for her money. But Gloria defends her actions, saying she wants Alexis to do better in school and live a better life. Despite the arguments, Alexis continues to grow in a loving home. One day, Gloria tells everyone that she's going back to college. She can't get promoted because the position she wants requires a college degree, so she decides she's going to get one. In 2014, Gloria celebrates Alexis' 16th birthday. Meanwhile, Shannara can only celebrate from afar, and this year, like every year, she wraps a piece of cake for her girl and hides it. While eating at a restaurant, an opportunity opens for Alexis to land a job. She can start as soon as possible, and she only needs her social security card. Gloria is against this, but Alexis is so happy that she feels pressured to say yes. However, Gloria quickly takes back what she said and tells Alexis she can't take the job. Then she finally reveals that she stole Alexis from her mother when she was just a baby.
What the hell?
Confused and shocked, Alexis leaves and confides in her friend, Swerve. After spending so much time together, they soon become each other's bongs. Gloria also admits the truth to Alexis, saying that she's going to fix things by turning herself in. Alexis is furious because this is the first time he's hearing about this. When Alexis overhears the conversation, she tells Gloria that she can't tell the Popo the truth. She even suggests they go into hiding, but Gloria has made up her mind to finally come clean. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Alexis says he'll stand by his wife no matter what. He a real one for that. Then they make a pact not to say anything to anybody. Alexis has a lot of questions in her mind, but she can't ask Gloria because she already has problems to deal with. One day the school calls Gloria to say that Alexis has been missing some classes, so she looks for her and finds her smoking some grass with Swerve. She scolds Alexis, and in the middle of the confrontation, Alexis says finding out the truth about her identity is too much for her to handle. So Gloria sits her down and asks to pray together. But curiosity gets the best of Alexis, and she begins to stalk Shannara and her family online. Then she calls Shannara one day only to end the call when she finally answers. 12 months later, Alexis finally confides in Erika and reveals that Gloria stole her when she was a baby. Erika comforts her sister, saying she'd lose her mind if her kid were stolen. In July 2015, on Kamiyah's birthday, Shannara calls back the number that phoned her. When Alexis answers, she simply says, "Happy birthday, Kamiyah." And with that, Alexis wonders how she knew it was her birthday. But that's enough to confirm Shannara's suspicion. She immediately calls Craig to say that she has found Kamiyah. Soon after, Detective Wilson approaches Erika to ask about her stepsister. Gloria finally tells her parents what she did, and they decide to stand by her and even help her get an attorney.
Lord help us.
I just know Grandma has a fat headache from this mess. Knowing that they're running out of time, Gloria tells Alexis to go and spend the night with Swerve. She even gives Alexis permission to tell her boyfriend the truth. In the early morning of January of 2017, the police finally arrest Gloria in her jammies. When they barge into Swerve's apartment, they tell Alexis to come down to the station to say her goodbyes to the woman she calls Mom.
Whose house is this?
It's mine.
I doubt that.
Someone get racist Metheny out of here. When Alexis tries to defend her, Detective Holly says he's been on that case for 18 years, worst detective ever, and he knows that Alexis's birth parents have been waiting for that day to come. When Alexis finally sees Gloria's situation, she breaks down. She doesn't know what to do without her mama. Gloria tells Alexis not to worry about her and instead to continue to live her life. She even tells Alexis to be respectful and kind to her biological family. At this point, Alexis is more worried about Gloria than anyone else. She even hands Gloria's meds and glasses to Detective Holly to be sure that she has everything she needs. Not long after, Alexis meets up with Attorney Bamberg so he can help her with her situation. Attorney Bamberg can bam me anytime. He tells Alexis that they have to control the narrative so the press will stop bothering her. But Alexis has to do exactly as she's told. A few days later, Alexis finally meets her birth parents. Shannara is overjoyed, and she can't help but cry as she hugs Alexis tight. Even Craig is happy to have his girl back. But when the press interviews Alexis, she makes it clear that Gloria gave her the perfect life, and she's always felt she's been blessed. Alexis even refers to Gloria as Mom. On the other hand, she tells the press that she'll give her biological family a chance. The interview hurts Shannara, and she immediately phones Alexis to confront her. Alexis apologizes, but she insists that it's taking her time to adjust. However, she promises to spend time with them so they can get to know each other better. When Alexis eventually comes to Florida to visit, they throw her a welcoming party. Craig asks Alexis to move in with them, but Alexis is not sure she wants to do that. While spending time together, Shannara tells Alexis to stay away from Gloria, as she's poisoning her mind to go against her biological parents. Shannara even makes Alexis pick between her and Gloria. Then she says if she has to, she'll even get a court order to get Gloria away from Alexis. And because of this, Alexis walks out on her. Damn, I'm actually rooting for Gloria. As for Gloria, she learns that if she takes the prosecution's offer, there won't be a trial. It means she's going to jail for 12 to 22 years. However, if she rejects the plea deal and goes to trial, she can get life in prison. So despite Alexis's disapproval, Gloria takes the plea. When Alexis confides in Attorney Bamberg, he explains that kidnapping is a serious crime, and it doesn't matter even if Gloria did a good job in raising her. In May 2018, on the day of the trial, Shannara is appalled by the huge number of people supporting Gloria. In court, she admits that she was only 15 years old when she met Craig and had a baby with him. She looks back at the time she met Gloria at the hospital. She thought Gloria worked there because of how she was dressed. She trusted Gloria because of how nice she was and agreed that the baby be taken to the nursery. That was when Gloria stole the child. Shannara says death is the only sentence fit for Gloria. Shannara is trying her best to be unlikable. As for Gloria, she tells everyone that she already had 2 babies with her partner, Charles. But Charles wanted a 3rd child, and so they made another one. Unfortunately, she had a miscarriage and lost the baby. She shares that she felt like she was on autopilot that day she took Kamiyah. She lost everything and didn't have anyone to rely on. Gloria insists she didn't have any intention to take a baby. Despite the fact that Gloria went to the nursery first, she denies picking Kamiyah intentionally. Instead, Gloria says Shannara was so young, disheveled, haggard, and looked broke. Gloria says Shannara looked like she didn't know what to do with the baby. Then she apologizes to Kamiyah's birth parents and hopes that they forgive her someday. The prosecutor says that Gloria planned the kidnapping because there was a baby seat in the car the day it happened. She also looked for a baby to take. The prosecutor asked that Gloria be given a maximum of 22 years, but Gloria's attorney asked the judge to give Gloria a sentence below the maximum because of her achievements and her dedication in raising Kamiyah. Meanwhile, Alexis now receives her social security card from Bamberg. This one recognizes her as Kamiyah. When Gloria calls her from prison, Alexis admits that she's finding it hard to adjust to an adult life. She's so used to having Gloria to lean on, and now she's all alone. Gloria tells Alexis to get counseling to feel better. Then she even reminds Alexis to be kind to Shannara and spend time with her. Unfortunately, it's hard for Alexis to see someone else as her mother. She even forgets to give Shannara a Mother's Day gift, but she definitely remembers to send a card to Gloria. Alexis proceeds to tell Gloria that she's the only one she loves as a mother. On the day of the sentencing, the judge gives Gloria 18 years on the first count of kidnapping, but there is an additional 5 years for interference with custody. Alexis is with Swerve as it all happens. She watches everything, and she breaks down when the sentence is finally given. 3 months later, Alexis admits she doesn't want to leave home because everything reminds her of Gloria, and she misses her so much. Soon after, Gloria's father, whom Alexis sees as a grandfather, passes away. 4 weeks later, Gloria calls Alexis to check on her. She tells the usual things: go to college, go to church, and don't do drugs. Gloria continues to encourage Alexis to spend time with her biological family and get to know them better. Alexis takes out her favorite photo of the two of them, taken when they both graduated. Then, before they end the call, the two sing their favorite song, not caring about the officers who can see them. Now, Alexis goes by both Kamiyah and Alexis. She still sees Gloria as her mother and is grateful for everything she did for her. She's trying to find the balance between the two families to make sure that they can all stay in her life. Kamiyah Mobley is thriving and has a fairly big following on social media now. This was honestly a heartbreaking situation. Gloria was definitely wrong for what she did, but it must have been such a confusing and difficult thing for Alexis to go through. And Shannara too. 22 years is a very long time, and not sure if I agree to that, because people do worse crimes for much less. What did you guys think of this one?
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because YouTube isn't recommending my videos. And if you would like to watch more foolishness, click here or here.